Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the pattern on how to make this dress, so especially the upper bodice. So first thing you're going to do, this paper is on a fold here. I'm starting with the front bodice. So the width I have here is just her bust measurement divided by 4 plus like extra 4 inches or so. You can do extra 3.5 depending on your size. If you're a bigger person, definitely do extra 4 inches. So after that, the next thing I did is to rule a line 1/2 inch at the top here to use as my seam allowance for the top part, and then I insert her. I came down 1 inch, marked her armhole, which is it is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, whatever you get. Rule a line and insert that here. You see I came down 1 inch of shoulder slope, connected it here, and then marked 3 inches to this point. Then after that, the next line I have here is her shoulder to her nipple, which is at 11. So this is the nipple line, and then her shoulder to her under bust at 14, and then her shoulder to her waist at 17. You see, so that's all the lines that I have. So now the next thing I'm going to do is just to start inserting my measurement. So guys, basically to make this, you're going to be drafting a princess dart on one side, and then you're going to be drafting a sweetheart neckline on the other side. So I'm going to start with the princess dart side. So basically what you're going to do is to first take her bust measurement, divide it by 4 and insert it on this line. So guys, I'm going to insert her bust divided by 4, which is going to be 9.6. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that here. And then I'm going to come here, divide this line into 2, and then find halfway. So halfway for me is 4. I'm going to come in here by 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to connect from here to this point. So guys, after that, the next thing you're going to do is to mark nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'm marking it 4 under the bust, and then I'm also going to bring it 4 on her waistline. And then on this other line here, I'm going to add 1/2 inch to it and mark 4.5. So also I'm going to check this curve of her armhole. Find halfway through it. So the curve of her armhole is 9. Halfway through that is going to be 4.5, somewhere here. So now I'm going to connect this line to this line, this one to this, and this one to this. So guys, after that, I'm going to come in here and mark 1.5. You can do 2 inches. I'm going to mark 1.5 here, and then I'm going to connect it from here to here. And then once you do that, you're going to mark 1 inch below this line, and then 1 inch above this line on the nipple line, you see. And then you're going to use a curve to connect it to this point here to give you the bust curve. And then the one above here, you're going to mark at least, I'm going to do 0.75 here and 0.75 above this line. And then I'm going to connect the two of them to this point, this 1 inch before the bust line. So that 0.75 I did for the line below, and the line above will give me 1.5, you know, and that same 1.5 is also what I use for the bust here. So I'm going to extend this line from this point to at least 1.5 above it, and then the shorter line, that's the line below, right? So I'm going to extend it a little bit, which is 1.5, and then mark it here, curve it into this armhole. This is going to be my new armhole. Curve it into this armhole line. And then now all I have to do is to insert my measurement. So first thing you're going to do is your bust divided by 4, which I already marked. Take this 1.5, put it back, and then do 2 inches of seam allowance or 1.5 of seam allowance, depending on you. Come to the waist, divide it by 4. Her waist is 32. Mark it, add back what you have here, which is 1.5, and then I'm going to do extra 2 inches of seam allowance. So now all I have to do is just to connect from here to here, and then from here to here, and this is done. So this particular bodice now is done. So all we have to do is to move over to the other side. On one side here you have the princess dart. So this is my center line. You can see from this point here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rule this line so that it will be more visible. So you can tell that this is the center of my fabric, right? So what I'm going to do now is to also draw a sweetheart neckline on this side before I connect the two of them together. So now let me fold it back so it will not be confusing. leaving it open. But you can leave yours open and just know that all your measurements are starting from this center line towards this side. Your princess dart is starting on this side, you see. But let me fold mine, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert the measurement. So first thing we are going to do for the princess dart is, remember, this is our shoulder to our armhole. So this is our chest line, this is our nipple line, this is our under bust line, and this is our waistline. So next thing you're going to do is to come to this your chest line. It depends on you. You have to measure from your shoulder to where you want your top to start. So from 16, you need to know where you want this top to start. So let's say I want it to start at 6.5. So I'm going to mark a line at 6.5. So guys, I've marked my shoulder to where I want the top to start. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and mark her nipple to nipple divided by 2 on this nipple line, plus half an inch. Mark that here. Take away that half an inch and just put the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, and then the nipple to nipple measurement also divided by 2 here. At the top line, what I'm going to do is her nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half an inch, like I did on this line. So now the next thing is just to connect it from this point to this point, and then from here to here, and then connect these two together. Once that is done, the next thing you have to do is the same 1.5 I did on the other side is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to mark 1.5 here and then 1.5 here, and then I'm going to connect the two of them together this way. After that, I'm going to come down 1 inch on this line, this nipple line, 1 inch before the nipple and 1 inch above the nipple. And then what I'm going to do is the same way we did for the princess dart. So you're going to connect from this bust here to this point to get your curve. After that, the next thing you're going to do now is just to go ahead on this upper line to mark 1 inch away from this line, 1 inch on the outer part of this line, and then half an inch on the inner line. Now all I have to do is to connect the two of them to this line here. So you're going to connect the two to this line. So guys, once you do that, the next thing you have to do is to come up to this, right? Your shoulder, remember what you're supposed to do here is to put in your shoulder measurement normally, right? And then you're going to come down 1 inch, and then you're going to do your armhole divided by 2, or you do your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, which for me is 8, which is on this chest line. This is where my armhole would have been, right? Which is the same on the other side too. So what I'm going to do on this armhole line again is to insert my bust measurement here. So like I said, her bust divided by 4 is going to be 9.6. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and then I'm going to connect it into this leg of this dart here. So you're going to blend it into the leg of this dart. If you want, you can come up 1 inch before this line. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and connect from here to this point, like this, to one leg of my dart, you see. And then for the neckline, we're just going to leave that for now. So let's go ahead and insert all our measurements. So once you mark your bust divided by 4, the next thing you're going to do is to take the measurement that you have here. So for me, it's less than 1 inch, it's like 0.75. Put it back in, and then I'm going to add 2 inches of sewing, and then come down to the waist. Do waist measurement divided by 4, which is 8. And then I'm going to put in what I have here, which is 1.5. And then I'm going to add my 2 inches of sewing allowance. So now all I have to do is just to connect it. So now we are done with the front pattern. All we have to do is just to connect the neckline. So guys, remember that this is supposed to be a sleeveless. So when you go to calculate your shoulder measurement, you're supposed to at least take away like 1 inch from it, right? Just so that the shoulder will come in. So this will not be on your shoulder directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to readjust mine. But remember, when you're doing yours, just divide your shoulder by 2 and take away 1 inch from it. Because I didn't do that now, because I'm just using the basic bodice, like you're going to attach a sleeve to it. But when you're making a strap, it's a sleeve that is not going to have, you're not going to have any sleeve added to it. What you're supposed to do is do your shoulder measurement divided by 2 and remove 1 inch from it. So like how her shoulder is 15.5 now, what I was supposed to do is divide it by 2, and then I'll get like 7.7 6 or so, what I was supposed to do is remove 1 inch from it, from the shoulder measurement. So her shoulder should have started somewhere here. Her shoulder measurement should have started somewhere at this point. That's remove 1 inch, and it would have been here. So now I'm going to join her armhole to be somewhere here. But with that said, the next thing we are going to do is this is just adjustment that I have to make on my own to reduce this side of the sleeve, you understand? So guys, remember, this side is supposed to be a sweetheart neckline, and this side is not a sweetheart neckline. But to make it up, what you're going to do is to measure from her shoulder to where you want the deep V part to be. So most times it's like 2 inches below where the line started, or 1.5. So let's say we do about 1.5 somewhere here. So what I'm going to do now is just to connect from this side of the shoulder to this point here, you see? And then I'm going to connect from this side of the princess dart, and then bring that one also to this point. So you see, sorry, it's supposed to be something like this. So you see the two of them meets here. So this is the neckline now. So basically all you have to do is just to go ahead and cut out the princess dart, and then cut out the shoulder. So I'm going to readjust my shoulder measurement now, but it's still the same thing, guys. It's still the same thing. It's just that the shoulder is supposed to be smaller, because one thing about this is that you don't want your strap to the sleeve to come down all the way to the edge of your shoulder, because there's no sleeve there to meet it. So you want it to be 1 inch shorter. So bring it in. So when you divide the shoulder by 2, subtract 1 from it before you start putting in all this measurement I just did now. So let me readjust mine. So guys, all I did is just to bring in this shoulder measurement, mark 1 inch into the shoulder, and then I wiped away the first everything before. And then on this straight line, I didn't go ahead to put in that 1/2 inch to curve it in anymore. All I did is just to mark 0.75 above on this straight line, and 0.5 below on this straight line. And then all I did is just to connect the two of them to that 1 inch before the bust. And then I extended this other lower line by 1.5, you understand? And then gave it a curve. That's basically it. There's no need to do that extra 1/2 inch, that curve that comes in that looks like this, because now there's no sleeve coming in here. So there's no need for that part of because that whole point is just to make your sleeve relax better, to shorten the front part of the sleeve. But now, as you can see, the sleeve is already coming in, so there's no sleeve coming to join in, so there's no need for that extra curve. So this actually works out perfectly for me. So all I have to do now is to go ahead and cut. So guys, this is it here. I've gone ahead and traced this. Guys, you see there's no seam allowance. You're not supposed to have, forget all this excess fabric. I'm still going to trim them off. The only part I left seam allowance is the shoulder, because I mistakenly cut off the top of it. But every other part, you're cutting exactly what the paper looks like. So I'm going to set this aside now, and then we'll move over to the back. So this is the back panel here. You see, I have my shoulder slope. And guys, you see that 1 inch I was talking about to come in by 1 inch. So all I did is just this was the initial armhole here. I just drew in 1 inch here and just a straight line down this way. So all I have to do is just to now wipe off this one. I just left it to show you guys. So now so guys, once you finish that, you're going to go ahead, give it a curve here. And then the next thing is to mark your bust measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to mark that here. So after that, you're going to come to this part here, and you're going to mark her nipple to nipple. So guys, what I'm going to do is her nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch. Mark it all the way. So that's going to be 4.5 all the way to this point. Mark it straight down. And then I'm also going to extend it all the way to the chest line, because this is the back. And remember, your dart always goes up to the chest line at the back. So what I'm going to do now is 1/2 inch on this side, and then 1/2 inch on the other side. This is just a basic dart that I'm giving it here. If you want at this point now, you can extend this dart from this point here. You can extend it in form of a curve to give you like a princess dart effect, like this. You cut it this way as a princess dart. If you want, you can do that. Or if you want, you can just stick to this basic dart here. So all you have to do at this point now is just to divide her bust measurement by 4, which we already marked. Add 2 inches of sewing. If you're going to do the princess dart, add extra 1 inch to that, because once you add, because once you do that, if you're going to add a princess dart, you're going to extend this outer line by also 1 inch, right? If you're trying to make it in form of a princess dart, and once you extend it by 1 inch, then you can bring down this curve. So once you extend it by 1 inch, you bring down the curve to join this line. So this is now your new armhole. Then you add your 2 inches of sewing allowance, and then plus this extra 1 inch of extension. Also put it back down here. Come down to the waist. Do her waist divided by 4. Her waist measurement divided by 4, which is 8. Add back this 1 inch of seam darting. Put it back, and then do your 2 inches of sewing allowance. And then all you have to do at this point is just to connect from here, and then also from here. So that's basically it. Anyone you want to do, you can do. If you want, you can form a princess dart. If you want, you can just stick to this other one. So that it depends on you. So now let's move over to the other side. You see, the other side also has this straight line here. So now let me connect it so you guys should see. So basically this is the other side, the back, the other side of the back, right? What you're going to do is you're going to measure from her. So this is your center line. Let's mark it so we don't confuse it. To do is from this center to the other side. This is the chest line. It depends on you. This is our chest line. It depends on you, like we did in front. You want the top to start at 6.5, but that will not matter here, because remember, the back always steps down to where the armhole is, right? So our armhole actually started at 9, which is this point here. So this is our armhole line, which is our chest line, our nipple line, and then our under bust, and then our waistline. So all you have to do is just to start. If you want, you can fold back your paper so you don't confuse it. You start from the center again, and all you have to do is your nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half an inch. So that's going to give me 4.5. Nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half an inch. I marked it here, so I'm going to connect it with a straight line, and then I'm going to give it the same dart we gave the other one. So connect it in a straight line, and then I'm going to mark half an inch here, and then also half an inch on the other side. That way we formulated our dart, you see. So all you have to do now is just to go up here and do my bust measurement divided by 4 on this chest line. Bust divided by 4, add that here. If you're going to be splitting this open, it depends on you. You're going to do extra 2 inches of sewing, and then come down to the waist. Do your waist divided by 4, mark that, put back this 1 inch of that, and then add your 2 inches of sewing. So that's basically it for the back panel. So you see, I know you're wondering, where is the zipper allowance? Guys, the zipper allowance is going to come in on the side that doesn't have a sleeve. The one shoulder side have a sleeve is where this the zipper is going to be. So the zipper is on the side, is a side zip, but it's just that it's not going to be on the princess dart side. It's going to be on the bustier side. So now we've connected this. So let's open it back up again. So you see what our back panel looks like. This is the back. So what you're going to do now is from this point again, this way, and then just curve from this end, from the end of the tip of the shoulder, and then you're going to just blend it into this side. You see, you cross over and blend it. So now you have your one shoulder. So this is what the back is going to look like. This way is going to go from one side this way, and then go into the other side. Guys, if you want, you can just use a basic dart here. All you have to do is just to cut this as one piece, right? All you're going to do is cut it as one piece. So cut from here all the way out. But if you're making it as a princess dart, then there's going to be a split on this side. You can even add a split on this other side too if you want to. But I don't see the need for that. So you can do whichever one you want. And then after that, another thing that I like to do for the back panel is come up here by 1 inch, which will be somewhere here, and then I blend it into the seam allowance. This will help the back not to fall lower or fall shorter than the rest of the body of the cloth. So you're going to give it 1 inch here, blend it into the side, and then come up again. I'm going to mark my half an inch here for joining it. So this is basically my back panel here. So I'm going to cut off all this side here. So guys, if you want, at this point you can just start from this line and cut into this piece here. That's how you're going to do it. But since I'm not doing it, I'm going to just cut away this princess dart and cut off the seam allowance I left for the princess dart, which is this extra 1 inch I added. So I'm just going to use my basic shoulder at this point. So guys, you see, this is the upper bodice. You can add anything to the bottom part, whatever you want it to be. So just basically join this upper part. I use the fabric as the lining, so it's double. So once you join it, you flip it and then close it up. So guys, this is what it looks like. You see what I said? There's going to be a zip from this side. So once I join the skirt part now, the zip is going to go from the side of the skirt all the way to the top. If you look at the back, you will see what the back looks like, just like this. 2 darts here, you see? So it depends on you. This is also the front. And then this is the cup for the breast. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.